So for the interview questions, the first one, the programming languages that I'm familiar with at the moment are HTML, CSS, Sass, and JavaScript. I definitely prefer JavaScript at the moment, just because you're able to create rich interactive user interfaces. It's interoperability, so you can use it along with other languages like HTML and CSS. And it just increases the website responsiveness and the overall user experience. The other thing I like about JavaScript is that there are very powerful frameworks that are built around it, such as React, which I really enjoy using. So for the second question, a project that I worked on and faced challenges with. So a project that we recently worked on was a mobile chat application that was built using React Native. And so being relatively new to the world of web development, the projects that I've worked on previously using React had been primarily class-based components. And I know that React is sort of gearing towards prioritizing a little bit function-based components. So I kind of took it upon myself to rewrite the entire application using function-based components, just to familiarize myself with the difference. And so I rewrote the whole app using function-based components exclusively. So in order to do this, tools like Stack Overflow and debugging were essential, just to make sure that the new functions were sort of reacting in the way that they had previously done in the class-based component. So making sure that data was transmitted properly and that the returns followed the intended format. Overall, I would say that it was a very positive experience, just pushing myself into a new way of writing the same code, and also to understand why React is pushing towards function-based components rather than class-based. My code ended up clearer, more concise, and then I actually adjusted my code and broke it down into more compact, clearer functions in the end. So for the third question, testing and finding bugs in my code, I used primarily the debugger keyword, which reacts as the same way as a breakpoint would and stops the execution of JavaScript the same way. I also use the JavaScript debug terminal in VS Code and lots of console logs just to make sure that the data being requested is being passed correctly, or that a function returns the data that I intended. So in my opinion, what distinguishes a great full stack engineer would be sort of several criteria. One of them would be sort of a global thinking. So as a full stack engineer, you have a global view of the project, both front and back end. And so how a front end can display and access the back end data. And on the flip side, if there's data missing in the back end, to ensure the best user experience. Another criteria would be very good communication skills, because chances are that you'll be communicating with the entire team, so both front and back end. Another one would be creativity, whether it's to problem solve or to ensure the best user experience. Curiosity as well. So being eager to learn a new language and new tools for a specific project. Tenacity is another one, I think. When it comes to problem solving and debugging, you really have to kind of be tenacious about it and really, be determined to solve the problem. And another one would be good time management skills. So projects have sprints and set deadlines, and being able to manage your time effectively is really important.